Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing my nails and I am going back long. I figured I would go ahead and do one long set and then if I have to, I'll go ahead and trim them for my next class, which is upcoming in Santa Monica. So if you guys are from that area and want to join us, it's going to be the 20th and the 21st alongside Tao from Not Polished. So I'm really excited for that. I cannot wait to meet everyone. But I'm going to go ahead and just prep my natural nail using a mandrel bit and sanding band. Now I am using this e-file that I keep at home from Makartt. I'll leave the exact one linked down below, but I honestly do not remember the exact name of it. I'm just going to go in and buff the shine off of my natural nail. Then we're going to be going in with the needle bit also from Profiles Backstage. And I'm going to be basically cleaning up that cuticle area just to make sure that I remove all the dead skin that I may have missed with my mandrel bit. This is my favorite and I feel like this really ensures that you're not going to get any lifting. Now I'm going in with my cuticle ball bit. This one is from Profiles Backstage and I'm just going to be going in at a speed of about 5,000 RPMs and buffing that cuticle area to nicely buff it off without having to nip or cut any of it off. Now I am doing my nails at home, so I went ahead and brought some of my supplies from the salon. The baby was very active, so I just went ahead and brought my stuff home so I could do it from home while she naps. So I'm taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file and I'm gonna go in and file the free edge of my natural nail just to shorten them out a little bit. I prefer to have like little to no natural nail underneath my tips. So I'm just going to go ahead and file it down as much as I'm comfortable with. Now I did go ahead and apply my tips. These are from Amazon. I'll leave those linked down below. And if you follow my Amazon storefront, they should be on there. But I went ahead and just applied them to make the video just go by a little bit quicker. Now I am taking some nail clippers that I have here at my house. I forgot my nail tip cutter, so I'm just using that. And I am going in on the sides, filing them, making sure that they are nicely shaped before I go in with my acrylic application. These tips are not faux sculpted. They don't have a deep C curve, so I really like them. And like I mentioned, I will leave them linked down below if you guys like that as well. So I'm just going to continue to file the sides and the tip of the nail to make sure that it is nice and squared. I did try to taper them in a little bit, but I honestly just like that perfect square shape, so I didn't taper them in really too much. I basically just brought the sides in enough so that when I go in and place my acrylic on top, it'll still give a nice perfect square shape without making them way too wide. Now I'm just very quickly taking my sanding band once again and I'm going to be buffing in that tip to my natural nail. I've decided to do this just because I'm going to be doing nail art and I want a flat surface so that everything lays nice and flat because I'm going to be layering on some nail art stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead, blend that out very quickly. Now I'm removing any excess dust while also dehydrating my natural nail using a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. And then I'm going to be going in with my XXX Bond primer from Not Polished. It's my go-to, so make sure you guys check it out. I'm just basically rubbing that in just on my natural nail as that is the area that you want to make sure stays adhered to your nail. I'm actually going to be using the neutralizer from Not Polished. I decided to use this. I don't know why I haven't made a video using it, but because I am doing my nails from home, I wanted to make sure that I minimize the smell of the monomer. Now, as you guys can tell from the thumbnail, we're going to be doing some ice cream nails. So I'm going to be going with like the strawberry ice cream type of vibe. And I'm going to be using 3 pink colored acrylics from Not Polished. The first one is Sweet Spot from the Candy Coated collection. Then we have the OG 206. It's a very light pink. And then we're going to be going in with Water My Melons as well. So I'm basically taking all 3 powders, dipping them one after another. I always start with the lightest one. And then I'm basically just marbleizing it on the nail. And then I'm taking these cute little fruits and just embedding them into that wet acrylic so that they lay nice and flat. And when I go into encapsulate encapsulate, I don't have to struggle and I don't end up filing anything off. So I'm using very thin layers while I'm doing this, and I make sure that I firmly press that down into the acrylic so it could be as flat as possible. And I'm basically just going to be repeating that until I cover the entire nail. Now, once I get to the natural nail portion of my nail, I'm going to be just taking this Sweet Spot candy coated acrylic, and I'm just going to be blending that downwards. It looks very, very pretty against my natural nail, so I wanted to just go ahead and leave that in that area. And I'm going to be taking a little bit more of that OG 206 color, and I'm just going to be blending it outwards just to give it a little bit more dimension over top of those little fruits. And I feel like it gives it a better, more realistic look to like the ice cream, since it is a nice light pink color. We're going to be repeating that on the middle finger, and then I'm not going to be showing you this process on the pinky because it gets pretty repetitive, so I'm just showing it to you on 2 nails. For the middle finger, I'm going to be adding a little bit more of those other little fruits. I'm not quite sure what it is, like a grapefruit, I guess, a pink lemon. I don't know, but we're going with it. I think it's cute and it goes with the vibe. So I'm just going to be going in with a little bit more of those, and same process, kind of marbleizing it and then going back in with that Sweet Spot color near the natural nail portion. I'm going in with my clear acrylic from Not Polish, and I'm going to be encapsulating all of the nails. Again, I'm just showing it to you on one of the nails, as you guys get the point by now. I'm just blending that out up towards the cuticle area and then down towards the tip. And then of course I always go back in with a little bit more if I feel like I need to cover any specific areas slightly more. Now, once everything is nice and dry, we're going to be going in with our filing process. Now, for this step, I decided to go in with my 5-in-1 bit from Kiara Sky in the color Rose Gold. But I am actually just going to be filing that cuticle area to make sure that the acrylic is nice and flush to the natural nail. This also ensures that you won't get lifting. You don't want it to be super, super thick. So make sure you guys are making it nice and flush. And then I'm going to be going in for the rest of my filing process with my hand file. I absolutely love hand filing. I feel like I haven't done it in a long time, so I've been focusing a lot on that recently, and I really like it. I feel like you just get like a perfect shape, and you're able to control your hand file a lot better than you would your e-file. So I'm going back in with my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, filing the sides, then the tip, and then I'm going to be going over top of the entire surface of that nail to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. Now I'm going in on the tips of my nails and making sure that they're nice and square. It can be a little bit tricky, especially because we're working on our own nails. What I like to do is just kind of flip my hand around constantly through the process. That way I'm able to see if I actually like the shape or not. I'm just cleaning the surface of the nail with a lint-free wipe and some swipe just to remove any excess dust. And then we're going to be going in with our application of our ice cream cone on the ring finger. I went ahead and left it naked because I didn't want it to become too bulky once I applied the nail art. So I played it safe and I left it towards the end so that I can fully focus on that nail and not get it dirty afterwards with all the filing. So I'm going in with Touch of Lips from Not Polish, and I'm going to be adding a good amount to the base of the nail. And as you can see, I'm just layering it on there and I'm really focusing on my application. I want it to be nice and smooth because I'm not going to be filing this nail at all. So I'm just going in and blending it out, bringing it all the way down towards the tip. And then we're going to be going in with a second layer of also a good amount of that product. And that's where we're going to be making our ice cream cone indentations. So I'm going in with a very large bead of that same acrylic and I start to blend it downwards towards the tip, and as you can see, it is nice and thick. So that's basically what I want so that I can place those indentations. And I'm just bringing it all the way down, and then I'm cutting off any excess because I feel like I added maybe a little bit too much. And I struggled slightly, but I was able to take it off afterwards. You know the worst of me. And now remember, I'm not going to be filing this at all, so I want to make sure that I'm focusing on the smoothness of it and that the sides are nice and tucked in so I don't ruin it afterwards with filing. So I'm just going to go in, make sure that everything is nice and tucked in. You can tell that the acrylic is starting to set. So I'm actually taking this cuticle pusher that I found here at my house. It has a flat edge to it. So I dipped it into my powder Touch of Lips. And then I basically just started doing my indentations, obviously diagonal, to make that like waffle cone type of design. And it was super, super easy. I love how it turned out and I liked the thickness of those lines. You could always use floss, you can use a credit card, you can basically use anything that's nice and sturdy. So I did want to mention that I dipped it into my powder so that the metal didn't get stuck to the wet acrylic. Now that we have the waffle cone design done, we're going to be going in with our actual ice cream portion. And I'm going to be using the exact same acrylics that I used for the other nails, except we're going to be incorporating a yellow to tie it all together. So I'm going in with the 3 pink colors, kind of marbleizing it, and then I'm just going to start tapping it out. And then I realized that when your ice cream drips, it's not textured. So I went ahead and smoothed it out just with a little bit more product to remove that texture. And then I started doing the indentations on the top portion of that ice cream. So if you think about an ice cream scoop, it's obviously not perfect, but the top of it typically is smooth. So I'm going to be trying to mimic that as best as possible with some little drips coming down to the cone. And now I'm taking Sun Kiss from Not Polish as well. It's a really pretty yellow and I definitely like that I chose this one. I kind of just grabbed it off my shelf, but it matches very, very well with the nail art. So we're going to be layering that on and then dripping it down some. And then we're going to be starting to add that texture again to the top portion of that kind of ice cream scoop. Since I'm layering it, I'm not actually making a whole scoop. I'm just doing the tiny little layers. And then the top final one will actually have a smooth top. And I'm just taking the tip of my brush. I'm kind of just stabbing it to kind of create those little texture marks. And then I'm adding a little bit more drips to kind of tie it all together. And then I decided to cut some of the fruits in half so that I can incorporate it into the ice cream. And I'm definitely glad that I did that. So I'm just taking some tweezers and sticking it in there while it's still wet. And if you forgot to do that, you could always add a little bit more powder and then stick it. It'll stick just fine. So we're going to be adding our last and top of the scoop of ice cream. And again, same colors, all 3 mixed together. And I'm just basically layering it on until I get the shape that I want. Again, stabbing the acrylic with the tip of my brush. And then I remember that I should probably add my little fruit. So I'm just kind of sticking it in there, stabbing the acrylic slightly again. And then I figured that something more hard would help a little bit. So I'm actually taking the tip of the tweezers and I'm going to be doing some texture using that. And I definitely like that I switched to that because it gave it a little bit more of a realistic look versus the brush kind of just blended it out in certain areas. So as you can see, I'm taking the tweezer and kind of just sticking it into that wet acrylic and moving it around until I got the texture that I liked. Now we're going on the other side, layering on a little bit more, and I'm making sure that I'm blending out the top portion and then just creating some more texture. I did go ahead and apply my top coat off camera. My phone decided to die as usual. I feel like my phone always runs out of battery. So I did go ahead and top coat using Matte It from Not Polish off camera. But that basically concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a ton. And I'll see you guys next time.